Okay, so tonight's video is about building leaders and deciding who it is that you are going to work with. Your time is valuable. You should always practice the 80-20 rule, continuing to work 80% on your business, 20% on your team. But that gets a little bit difficult because there will be people who just want to suck your energy and take your time, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that tonight. So, when it comes to building leaders and finding out who to work with, the best thing that I can tell you to do is have a servant heart and put the people first, because the more people that you help reach the goals that they have, that in turn is going to help you reach everything that you've ever wanted. One of my biggest tips about this is to find your people in Scentsy. Find an accountability partner to vibe with. They don't have to be in our group. They just need to be somebody that you can vibe with, because you're not going to vibe with everybody, and that's okay. I had people that were my people and mentors to me before I ever even hit director. They were superstar directors: Christina Stainbrook, Jennifer Anderson, Becca Levi, like all of these people that I looked up to. And now I get to sit at the table with them because I watched their videos and I took in what they said and I learned from their mentoring. So even if it's somebody that you don't have personal contact with yet, those can be your people. I get to see those people when we go to events, and I still have girl crushes. So know that finding your tribe and having somebody to lean on is very, very important, though, because leadership is lonely. And I'll be the one to tell you that leadership is lonely. And so you have to find somebody to pick you up and to vent to and to bounce ideas off of. If you are struggling, you need to reach out. Reach out to your upline director, reach out to your sponsor, reach out to me. Follow the correct chain of command, but nobody knows if you're struggling. Nobody knows if you need help if you don't reach out. The same thing goes for your team members. You've got to reach out and have that open communication. If you are wanting to be coached by your upline director or by myself or by your SSD or whatever, make sure that you follow the proper protocols, but also know that it's okay for you to not get along with everybody's leadership style. That's okay for you, and that's okay for your team members. So if somebody on your team is just not vibing with you, for the love of God, find somebody that they can vibe with, because at the end of the day, we should want everybody to be successful regardless of who they're vibing with. Okay. So let's talk about frontline versus downline and where you spend your time. Choosing who to work with can be somewhat of a difficult thing, but I always suggest starting with your frontline, starting with your directors, people that you've personally sponsored, directors within your group. Now, when your frontline is not doing anything, guys, do not beg people to work. Do not beg people to work. Don't drag them across. Don't worry about why they're not working. Be there for them, love them, give them the actions that they need to do. And if they're not going to do them, they're not going to do them. After your frontline, then you can move down to downline. Make sure that you're having open communication. If you have somebody too down from you and they're a rock star, reach out to their sponsor first. Have some respect for them. Talk to them about it. If they're not having coaching calls with them or mentoring them, ask them if you can do like a three-way mentoring thing where you're going to mentor both of them. And so that sponsor also gets to hear the benefit of what you have to say. Now, when we're talking about training versus coaching and mentoring, it's different. So training is what's done as a group. Training is like basic knowledge, such as booking games, what goes in your bag parties, how to make samples. Those things happen on your team page during your team meetings, etc. Mentoring is one-on-one communication with actions attached to it. You can't mentor somebody who doesn't want to be mentored. You can't mentor somebody who's not taking action. And so what I mean by that is sponsoring people is just sort of guessing. Because guys, it only takes one person to completely change your business. But when you're mentoring the right people, you'll know because they're doing the things that they should be doing. But don't waste your time on people who aren't going to do the things that they need to do. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. I get this question a lot about motivating your team. You can motivate your team by acknowledging actions that they're doing, that they're completing, not achievements. Scentsy is going to incentivize achievements, earning a promotion, annual sales, annual mentor, incentives, etc. Those are achievements. Actions are what we really need to focus on. Actions such as making your list of 100, going live on social media, sponsoring a new teammate, training that teammate with a launch party, or whatever it is. Actions are what is going to help them win and what is going to help them build belief in their business. If you're not sure how to go about mentoring someone, this is something you can do that's super simple. It's called the AAA system. You're going to give them an assignment with a due date, such as, I want you to reach out to 10 people. I need to know that you've done that by Friday at 6 o'clock. Send me the screenshots. Whatever it is. You need a due date so they don't just like waste your time. Hold them accountable to that. If they don't do that action, that's where your mentoring stops. And that's not you being mean, because you need to make sure that you've given them a task that's easy enough for them to do. But they're either going to do it or they're not. And if they're going to let fear hold them back, you're not going to beg people to go do things that you know that work. And then if they do those actions, acknowledge them publicly. Guys, this could be the only time that someone feels like they're winning at something. Please acknowledge what they did, because things are a lot scarier. Going live on social media is a lot scarier to a brand new consultant than it is to me. So acknowledge those things in front of others. If you are not sure like what actions to give people, I have created, and I'm going to share my screen really quick, some checklists for you to kind of go through. So if somebody's an essential consultant, these are things that you can give them or teach them about. If they are a certified consultant going to lead, these are different things. Now, these are just sort of lists of training topics, so you're going to have to go a little bit more specific. But I have been really specific about things that you can do and actions that you can give them, training you can send them to watch with an action attached to it for specific titles. And that's going to be in our folder. There's also so many other different coaching programs and mentoring programs out there. I am not the only way. I'm just going to say that it's super important that you don't waste your time worrying about people who aren't working. Use that energy on finding new people. Use that energy on the people that are working. Come up with a system that's going to work for you. Now, when it comes to training, my suggestion is to come up with some sort of routine or system. If you want to do Tip Tuesday, you can go live on your team page every Tuesday with different topics. There are people who do 5-minute Friday. So on Friday, they go live for 5 minutes talking about random things. I can put some ideas in our folder. But training and mentoring are different. And if you want to grow in this business deep and wide, and you really want to grow a legacy for your family, you have to mentor people, even if you're introverted and even if you don't like talking to people. I'm going to end this training with some numbers that I think are super important for you guys to realize, because so many people get caught up in, I sponsored somebody and they didn't do anything. So I want you to listen to these statistics. 70% of people who join the network marketing profession will recruit 0 people into their business. 70%. Okay. 20% will recruit between 1 to 2 people. 5% will recruit 3 to 5. 3% will recruit 6 to 9. And only 2% will recruit 10 or more people into their business. So think about that. Directors are the top 2% of the company. Here you are. Here you are. So the average person is in the 2%, recruits 27. Okay, so the average person in the 2% of that recruits 27 people. So ask yourself. And if you break down those numbers, this proves that 70% will do absolutely nothing in terms of recruiting, either because they don't want to, because they have fear, because they quit. It's fine. It's fine. But when it comes down to this, it's a numbers game. Just like I said before, sponsoring is guessing and mentoring is knowing. You're going to have people who join your team and ghost you and never do a thing. You're going to have people who join your team that say, I'm going to be your biggest recruiter, I'm going to be your biggest salesperson, and never do anything. And that's okay. You're going to love them where they're at because people's circumstances could change. But you want to work with the people that really, really want it. Okay. Being a numbers person, and this is something that I feel is really important. When you recruit a lot of people, you become known as like a top producer, right? You're recruiting a lot of people, you're bringing a lot of people in. But building that wide and building it deep, meaning teaching those people that you sponsor to do the exact same thing, so growing deep and wide, that duplication is what is going to create wealth. That is what is going to create long-term income. That is what is going to help you make money while you sleep. Not worrying about the people who want to sit around and make excuses about why they're not taking action. You have to become really good at being a mentor and finding a way that you can mentor people with love, and being a good enough mentor to know that you should never stop learning, and you should never stop being mentored, and you should never stop feeding your brain, and you should always self-reflect and figure out what you can do better, and let your team members know that you're there to help them succeed. Like I said at the beginning of this video, finding out who to work with, those types of things are going to be shooting star earners, top PRV, 1,000 or 2,000 PRV, earning sensational star at levels 1, 2, and 3, being super engaged in the team page. Sometimes those people may not be big producers with PRV. Maybe they just need an extra push. Leaders are not just found, they're created. You have to teach people to do this. None of us woke up or were born and decided we wanted to be a superstar director of a network marketing business. These skills aren't things that are necessarily known. We have to give them those skills, but make sure that you are putting actions behind them. And if you need help with any of that kind of stuff, I would be more than happy to help you. There are so many videos out there about Coach the Coach, action plans, all of the different things about mentoring your team, but mentoring is a must. I hope this is helpful.